Mr. President, the IIC Annual Conference is discussing what needs to be done by industry, governments and regulators to make digital society a universal reality. Why is the digital society so important?
It's extremely important. It's extremely important for all countries in the world because information and communication technologies can give us enormous benefits, not just in economic terms, in terms of an acceleration in the rate of growth, but information and communication technologies will improve our quality of life, will improve the way in which we learn, in which we treat illnesses. They will increase the safety of our transport system. They will give us a lot of benefits. And the sooner we are able to harness, to reap the benefits of all these technologies, the better it will be for all of us. That's why governments all over the world are extremely interested in what information and communication technologies can deliver.
What do you think are the key elements in working towards this ambitious goal of a digital society? And how can the International Institute of Communications Annual Conference contribute in making progress?
Well, essentially there are three major challenges that all governments are faced with. To begin with, these technologies are rightly called information and communication technologies. So essentially they depend on the ability of individuals and devices to exchange information over long distances, over a variety of pipes. So we need the communication infrastructure. Then we need to develop applications that will deliver the various benefits that I was mentioning before to all the citizens. And then we need to have a regulatory framework that will accompany, that will enhance the development of this digital society, and bodies that will be able to enforce the application of this regulatory framework. These are the challenges that are faced by all countries. And all governments are grappling with many difficulties that they are finding on the way. The IIC provides a very good forum through its DMF and the annual conference that will take place this year in Johannesburg, where policymakers, regulators, industry representatives, other stakeholders can discuss issues of common interest. What are these issues? I said we need the infrastructure. That means, one, making better use of spectrum for the wireless devices, and we will have more and more need for wireless devices. We see that the wireless devices are becoming an area where people will find it easy to use these technologies, and we see that the increase in data traffic over wireless is spectacular, but that means that we need to develop the mobile networks of the future that will carry this huge amount of data. That means having broadband, but not just broadband, if possible, ultra-high-speed broadband, fiber or other technologies that will deliver 100 megabit or something like this. So these are the challenges that we have on the building of the infrastructure. Then we very often use the word content, but content is sometimes just related to entertainment. In fact, content is much more than this. Content is everything that we want to use this infrastructure for. Content means e-learning. Content means applications for medicine. Content means mobile banking. And the third element that we need is an appropriate regulatory framework. But even more than the regulatory framework on the basis principles of which there is a wide understanding, we need bodies that can enforce the application of this regulatory framework. That requires capacities that are not usually available in the public sector, that requires independent bodies that can take sometimes unpopular decisions. Now, all these issues are issues that will be discussed in this year's conference. Broadband, deploying ultra-high-speed broadband, improving the management of spectrum, developing content in its various forms from traditional content to mobile banking. And we will also have sessions on creating the institutional capacity to enforce the regulatory framework to support the development of the digital economy.
The conference is being held in South Africa, but is designed to attract international participants and will have speakers from countries at different stages in digital development. What do you think is the attraction of the event for those based outside Africa?
Well, this conference will attract people from all over the world because the whole world is facing these problems. The attraction for the participants will be the fact that the conference will be an occasion to compare experiences between people who are at different stages of the development of the appearance of these problems. There are people who have dealt with these problems yesterday, there are people who will have these problems tomorrow, and the interaction between the two will be very fruitful. So everybody has an interest in attending a conference like this. The fact that the conference is held in Africa means that we expect a large African audience, and we think that this will be particularly useful for African participants to learn from the experience of other parts of the world.